Dana, witnesses tell police at least 2 men walked from this alleyway here, came through this entryway, and shot at least 29 times at the people sitting at this pavilion yesterday evening. A pastor I talked to today at a nearby church says it's not surprising to him or his neighbors at all. A caller called in and said that they saw 2 men walking down a gravel road about 1 mile south of here, but we're told we will not have access to that area. This is now the 8th hour of the search that has happened here just at the 22 and 63 junction in Boone County. It's right on the Boone County and Randolph County line. Yeah, this affidavit is from the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. It explains the entire process that investigators went through before filing those federal complaints. A red flag warning went out around 10 a.m. today, and for good reason. Take a look at how flammable even a handful of grass can be. We actually just pulled this out from behind our property back there. Firefighters say even a handful of this can spread on acres and acres of land, and that's exactly what happened today. Well, we've all done it. We see an officer off in the distance, we check our speed, and we slow down. That's if we're lucky enough to avoid the radar. But a trooper I talked to today showed me exactly how his job is to do more than just enforce the law. We're actually hearing of other wrecks on I-70 on exit 126, 130, and 133. We're going to head there right now to give you some updates on those. Yes, right now the inspectors are still investigating this property that collapsed early this morning. Right now, though, it looks like they're building some sort of wall that's kind of reinforcing that second-story walkway that did collapse this morning. Tiger's towing behind me. There's actually no trucks in the lot. That's because they're all out there addressing the numerous amounts of issues that they have, or at least trying to. They have to receive at least a 90% approval rating and have none of their buses fail the inspection. I learned today that this year is a great improvement for Jefferson City schools, but it wasn't the same story for the Columbia Public School District. Last Thursday, Clark did send an email directly to Chancellor Lofton. The parents in this group are wanting to meet one-on-one with him without media presence, hoping to be able to have a free-flowing form of conversation where there aren't any pressures of what can be said and what cannot be said. As of today, they have not heard anything back from him. In all of the 7 accidents, none of them were wearing seatbelts. You'll remember last week we told you 1 week ago about that Click It or Ticket campaign that launched. That will last until June 1st. With that, troopers and other Missouri law enforcement will be taking a no-tolerance approach when ticketing people who are not buckling up. So keep that in mind if you're out on the roads tonight. Plan on driving this weekend? Then plan on hearing this.
Hello, welcome to the Boone County Sheriff's Department Sobriety Checkpoint. I'm Sergeant Brian Lear. Can I see your driver's license, please?
It's a casual conversation.
Have you had anything to drink?
That lasts merely seconds before you're sent on your way.
The majority of people that do come through a sobriety checkpoint just go right on through without any issues at all. It's just those few that we encounter that are impaired that end up with different plans for the evening.
Slurred words and bloodshot eyes are just a few observations deputies make before asking the driver to step out of their car.
So that would be equivalent to someone who's a .08, .09 BAC.
I use these fatal vision goggles to demonstrate a blood alcohol level just above the legal limit.
But what I'm going to ask you to do is take 9 heel-to-toe steps down that line, turn as I'm going to show you, and take 9 heel-to-toe steps back. Okay.
An easy feat, right?
5, 6.
Not under the influence.
So a lot of it is cognitive as well. They forget what they're supposed to do. They'll stop and ask questions as to what they're supposed to do.
Deputies continue their roadside investigation using an eye test and a balance test.
1001, 1002, 1003.
Combine my wobbliness with a pair of bloodshot eyes and alcohol-laden breath, and that's enough to give me the cuffs.
We want to make sure that someone doesn't go down the road and hurt or kill themselves or hurt or kill someone else. And most every encounter that comes through a sobriety checkpoint is positive.
Yeah.
People thank us for being out there.
And we look at right there, that's fuel to burn.
A fuel tank explodes as this truck slowly burns out. Flames from the truck spread further down the road and threaten a nearby home and barn. Today, crews saved the property but blame tall and dry grass.
It's spreading very rapidly. When you have winds of 15 to 25 miles an hour, the fire is going to spread as fast as that. And so trying to get out ahead of this thing and find a good place to stop it. You can't really attack this fire in these tall grasses.
This fire on Hatton Chapel Road required 14 units and burned more than 30 acres. After getting stuck in the mud, the owner of the truck left to go call for a tow. Moments later, the fire began.
A hot tailpipe or a hot catalytic converter from a vehicle is hot enough to start a grass fire in today's conditions.
And 1 hour later, another fire spreads across 25 acres on Bourbon Road near Sturgeon.
Small fire, well contained, no big deal. I'm gonna just burn a small spot. Feel this breeze?
Yeah.
Now imagine putting that behind a fire. Where's it gonna go? Wherever it wants.
National Cover Fire, 1851 Aikman Bridge.
Another call for help, this time on Aikman Bridge Road. Officials say it took minutes for it to engulf more than 10 acres, and it's caused fire crews to change up their tactics to meet the demands.
We use rakes, blowers, and pump packs, which is carry 5 gallons of water on our backs, and you can actually squirt water.
We're starting to have to fight fires with this wind and as dry as it is, like they do out west. People help us. They gotta stop and stop burning right now. Let us get some rain.
Yeah.
You know, it can wait a little bit.
It collapsed a little bit first, then the second part collapsed later.
One resident describes the scene early this morning. He says his neighbor woke up to cracks forming along the walls of his room.
Like when he watched outside, there wasn't any balcony. What woke me up was the strong bangs in the door.
Bangs from firefighters evacuating 18 people from within the building's 12 apartments.
If it's not happened today, nobody care about this.
This resident lives in a neighboring building inside the University Village complex. He says he's one of several international students who live there.
The first place that when we arrive this country, this is the place that we believe that is safe for us. And why we choose the university properties.
Investigators started by removing the tin awnings from underneath at least 3 walkways on neighboring buildings. An MU spokesperson said that's so inspectors could take a closer look at the structure of the concrete.
You know, with many issues, for example, the furnace systems, the gas systems, or whatever, because the property is very old.
Victor De Jesus says the buildings have other problems, including a gas leak last year. Now he says he's not sure he'll stay in his apartment.
But yeah, it's pretty dangerous to know that this could happen, you know.
Tonight, an MU spokesperson says those residents in this building are being relocated depending on their situation. Some have told me today that they are being relocated to a nearby hotel, and right now we're seeing that some of those residents that I talked to today are actually being let back in. They have boxes. It looks like they're going to be let in to be able to get some of their belongings out. We'll, of course, keep you updated, bring you more details when we can. But right now, I'm live on MU's campus. Angel Mendez, ABC 17 News.